There's only two ways you can actually get access to funding. One, you either had to have the credit score, right? Or you had to have the revenue. When you have a good credit score, you're showing underwriters you're a reliable borrower, right? They can look at your credit profile and say, okay, this person pays people back. Or let's say your credit score is not the best, it's mediocre. If you have revenue in a business, a cash flowing business, they can say, hey, this person may be subpar, their credit may be subpar, but they're generating revenue. It does not matter how many people are in the industry. It does not matter what you went through. It all matters is your actions from now on. So the thing that you're scared to do is probably the thing that's going to help you level up and grow. With revenue-based lending, we don't charge the client. We actually get paid from the lender directly, up to 15%. The lender just verifying they understand the terms, all the disclosures, depending on what state they're in, and they send them the money, and they send you your commission via wire 5 business days later.
Okay, you said you got them $273,000.
Yeah.
You made 21 bands off that?
Yeah.
By helping someone get funding.
Yeah, and not charging them anything.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. We find incredible people that are doing incredible things in the world. One thing I am seeing now, which I think is more important than ever, is how do you get money? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you have a business, you have to make sales, you got to make the money, but some people can't get the business started because they don't have any money. Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. Before you knew what you knew, before you knew what you know, you're working a job, let's just say you're working at Applebee's, you got this idea for this business, and it's going to take about $30,000 in your head to get started. Before you knew what you know today, how would you go about getting the money?
Honestly, my mindset back then, just work and save. And that's most consumers. That's the only thing. Like, we weren't really taught financial literacy or just banking, finance, and different things. A lot of us were probably, well, me personally, I'll speak for myself, we were taught to stay away from credit. We thought credit was bad. There was no such thing as like 0% interest, you know what I'm saying? Promo rates or anything like that. So my only option was to just work and save. And that's why when I found out about credit, it was like an alarm went off. It's like, wait, you can not have the money, have a structured credit profile, and be able to secure funding, and then it be 0% interest at that. So with me, before getting to the information I knew, it would honestly just be saving. And I think that's where most people think on a day-to-day basis is, hey, like, if my family doesn't have the money, if I don't come from money, the only thing I can do is work hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My answer was sell weed.
What would you go say?
Sell weed, bro. If you got a job, let's say you make $30,000, you need $30,000. Where are you going to get the $30,000? It takes you the whole year to make the $30,000, and you have to live off the $30,000.
Yeah.
But if you sell a little weed on the side, bro, you can have a thriving career. But of course, that's illegal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, Stedman, welcome to the show, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
So if you guys don't know, my name is Stedman Waiters. Everybody calls me Sted. I'm somebody that came from being an athlete my whole life. That's what I identify with. Went from being a depressed athlete to really being able to separate myself from football, right? If I didn't make it in football, if I had a bad day at practice, I was having a bad day in general. So I had to, go through identity crisis, separate myself from football to working in corporate America for a few years as an electrical engineer, actually here in Atlanta for Georgia Power. This is actually my region where we at right now. Oh, wow. This is actually my operating region. So it's crazy to come back. Being there, being overworked, undervalued, underpaid, to figuring out credit where that alarm come off, and from there, man, it was a game changer. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk to people on how they can start building out their bank account, like making some money, right? Yeah. Well, so we'll go into entrepreneurial stuff, things of that nature, but just so people know, what are some of your business highlights right now? Like, what is your business doing now?
Yeah, so right now we have a 7-figure funding company. It's a little bit different than what you see on the internet when it comes down to it. We classify ourselves as business loan brokers. That's essentially the real terminology for it. We're not actually lending out our money at the moment. We're basically connecting business owners to lenders, whether that be private money lenders or financial institutions when it comes down to it, right? So we offer different type of products, lines of credit, MCAs, credit card stacking, SBAs, equipment financing, you name it, we do it. And I feel like me being able to offer multiple different services is what's allowed me to grow. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I SBA loans too?
Yeah.
I actually have an SBA loan.
Yeah.
I got it during the pandemic. And the interest rate was like 1%. And I'm not paying it off. ever. Yo, you got to run this whole 40 years. Yo, they said, it was something crazy. It was like 1% for like 30, 40 years or something like that. I said, I'm taking that, bro. I'm taking that money. So I don't know how soon. I'm not really in a rush to pay it off. It's like $200 a month.
I wouldn't be either. I would string that thing out as long as possible.
Yo, this is actually my first time, like, and when I got it, and I wasn't even all the way prepared or structured. Now I had some income coming in at the time. I had, my credit was okay, and I kind of showed I could show the income. But when they sent me $55,000, I was like, bruh, does everybody know about this? And I thought it was a mistake, but I didn't want to say nothing because
that's really what we do.
$55,000.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, like, can you even explain to me what I got? I don't know. I don't know. I just know it was 1%.
Yeah. So basically, you just caught it at a very, very good time during COVID. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it. So it's not one of those things where the SBA is not giving nowhere near a 1%. No. None. You just caught at a very good time during COVID, during the PPP era and different things like that as well. Where, the golden days. that it will probably, hopefully, never happen again, because usually that only happens when the economy is doing really, really bad, right? But like you mentioned, I would stretch that out. I would not have any intent to just pay that off anytime soon, because you would never see that type of rate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anymore. But SBAs help a lot of different business owners, man. Some of the misconceptions with SBAs, though, that people don't understand is that it's catered to more established businesses. You know what I mean? It's not meant for you being a startup and not having any revenue, because obviously you got to provide tax returns, depending on what type of SBA. If it's a 7A, you got a P&L statement, debt schedule, a lot of different moving components when it comes down to it to underwrite that file to get them funded.
I don't think I gave none of that, bro.
Yeah. You probably got it from a CDFI or was a microloan when it comes down to it.
What does that mean?
So CDFI are smaller banks, and they can lend up to around $50,000 on microloan SBAs and under. So with those, it's typically less docs, maybe like bank statements, maybe 1 year tax returns. You provided any of those?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Okay. So, but they still provide those though?
Yeah.
They still offer those.
Yeah.
So if I'm a business owner that has my tax returns and I have an okay credit profile, that's a good avenue to get some capital.
100%. When you have revenue, so like they even just break down funding in general. To make it very simple, there's only two ways you can actually get access to funding. One, you either had to have the credit score, right? Or you had to have the revenue. Both of those are proof of concept. When you have a good credit score, you're showing underwriters you're a reliable borrower, right? They can look at your credit profile and say, okay, this person pays people back. We can trust him with X, right? Or let's say your credit score is not the best, is mediocre. If you have revenue in a business, a cash flowing business, they can say, hey, this person may be subpar, their credit may be subpar, but they're generating revenue, right? We can see that with the revenue they're generating, they can pay this back, and that justifies them wanting to give you money. Does that make sense?
It does. And now I'm thinking back over my life, because I've leveraged loans before. So, when you just said it, I was about to rebuttal and say, yo, why don't you need both? However, there's been a time when I had great credit, but I didn't have a whole lot of revenue coming in, and I got approved because I had good credit. But also when I opened a store in 2014 in the South DeKalb Mall, and I don't know if this is, this is funding. They gave me, I had like revenue coming in, because I had like 2 kiosks in another mall. I had the revenue coming in, and what they did was they gave me, I want to say it was like $30,000, but they took a certain amount off my processing, off of every every sale essentially, which I thought was cool. So I remember only having revenue and no credit at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even think they checked I don't even think they cared, honestly. Let me ask you this question. Why don't these banks care if you have bad credit or not?
So it's not banks that don't care. Banks do care. You're not getting funding from actual banks. Like, you're not walking into a Wells Fargo, a Chase, a PNC and going to get money. They have a credit box. If you don't meet that credit box, it don't matter how much money you're making, they ain't with it, right? It's usually private money lenders or smaller institutions that are like second opportunity institutions that will base funding off of your revenue. Because at the end of the day, whether you have bad credit or not, you still have a demand for capital. Does that make sense? There's tons of people with bad credit that still need money, that make money, right? And who's to service that market? So with private money lenders, like a Idea Financial, like a Capitalist, like a Everest, these are all lenders that we actually partner with to fund our clients. Those businesses, I would say, establishments, they look at your revenue because they're like a second option for people that don't have the credit. Because like I mentioned, if you go to a bank with a 550 credit score, I don't care if you making $500,000 a month, they're still not going to fund you, just because you're not in that credit box. But these other institutions, we call it alternative lending, is where they base lending off of your revenue and you're still able to get access to capital. And is the beauty about revenue-based lending that people don't understand is that it's based off of your revenue. So like how you said, they purchase your future receivables, meaning that they're only taking based off what you make. Right. And I feel like in some situations, revenue-based lending can be better than traditional, because if somebody has good credit, no proof of concept in a business, giving them $100,000 can either make their life or ruin their life. Giving the wrong people money can make their life, or ruin their lives. But with revenue-based lending, you're giving them money only based off of their revenue. Doesn't make sense. So you're dealing with people that have proof of concept, are actually making money, right? And you're only giving them what they can actually chew off. Does that make sense?
I got you. All right. So you said there's two types of revenue. There's two types of funding. You either have to have the credit or the money.
Yep.
You got to have one.
Yep.
Do you get people a lot that don't have either, that are saying, hey, I need some money. How can I do this?
Yeah. For those people, unfortunately, you got to go through credit repair. Yeah. You got to go through credit repair, right? And that's just life when it comes down to it. Nobody's born with bad credit. People go through unfortunate events. Sometimes we got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to sit down that 6, 8, 12 months, whatever it may be, to fix that credit, to go in and get the funding you need. Because banks are not in the business of charity. Lenders are not in the business of charity. They're in the business of making money. So if you have bad credit, you're showing the lender that you're an unreliable borrower, right? And if you have no money, then how do you pay back the money that I give you? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then it just becomes a charity, a grant. And at that point, if we give money to people we know can't pay us back, can we really get mad they default?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. If someone's watching us right now, they don't have the credit or the money, they should turn off this episode right now.
I would say this. There's going to be some high-level business strategies that we're going to talk about, right? Because people don't understand that funding and credit gives you an advantage in business. But there's a lot of people that have no credit, no money, and still making it in business. It just becomes tougher to actually operate in business. There's a bunch of people that start in sales with no money at all, but they have effort, they have grind, they have grit, and still make money with no credit and no funding. Most of America still doesn't know that you can actually leverage credit to get into business, right or wrong. 100%. How many mom and pop restaurants we know that, man, we started this from the ground up. We would start selling plates outside. We eventually saved up our money to do this, to do that. So most of America is still not using credit. I just feel like in the online space, people think credit is the only option. But in reality, you shouldn't be questioning your credit. You should be questioning your effort. Because at the end of the day, you only lose when you stop. If you're willing to find a way, to get around those circles, those obstacles, you're always going to win. You know what I mean?
So what's the idea credit score to where, like, I'm talking about first stage of credit score to even consider getting funding?
I would say this. It's two aspects of funding, and I'll break it down very, very simple. On a traditional side, which is going to be credit-based and you don't have to necessarily have revenue, you want a 700 credit score, right?
700.
Yeah, 700.
700 is the target.
Yeah, 700 is the target, but it's really a filter. What I mean by that, it's a filter to say if you have less than a 700, this may not be ideal for you. But there's a difference between a 700 credit score that has a credit builder account and maybe a trade line versus an established 700. You want to establish 700. And if we break that down, just going through it really quickly, when it comes down to payment history, you don't want any little to no late payments, just being honest, right? Or if you have late payments that are older than 2 years, those are irrelevant, especially if you got late payments from COVID, right? Underwriters are looking at your most recent 24 months of payment history.
Late payments from COVID, what do you mean?
So during the COVID time, there was a bunch of late payments that were happening. The economy was, basically dropping down. So banks understand during that time if you had late payments during that time. So what I'm saying is with underwriters, when they pull your credit report, if you have late payments that are older than 2 years, they now become irrelevant because underwriters are looking at your most recent 2 years of financial history.
It still affects the score, though.
Correct. Still affects the score.
But you're saying when an underwriter gets it, they're like, okay, well, I'm just looking at the last 2 years.
Correct. Correct. Yep. And then moving down, when it comes down to it, obviously you don't want any negatives. Negatives can tarnish, your odds of being approved. Going down to accounts, this is one thing that I talk about that a lot of people don't. People will tell you need at least 5 accounts, 8 accounts, 10 accounts, and I kind of hate that because it's not true. It doesn't matter how many accounts you have, it's the type of accounts you have, because underwriters look at what we call comparables. They want to see what existing credit accounts you have in your credit profile to base, an approval decision. So let me give you an example. If you're applying for a credit card, a bank is going to pull your credit report, and they want to see what existing credit cards you have. They want to see the limits on those credit cards, how old they are, the age on those, the payment history on those credit cards, and even the bank that issued that credit card, right? And based on that information, they'll say, okay, we'll approve or deny this person. Make sense? Same thing when you're applying for a loan, right? We look at one-to-one comparables. They want to see how you handle loans in the past. Have you paid them off? Have you had a long time history of actually paying off loans? And they use that information to approve you. So when people tell you need at least 5 accounts, 8 accounts, 10 accounts, it's kind of irrelevant, right? Because you can have 5 trade lines, and those are technically accounts. You can have 5 credit builder, kickoff, self, and those ain't getting you much of anything. You know what I mean? So you want to have an established credit profile, and with those things, you're able to go to these banks and secure the funding you need to. Now, on the revenue-based alternative side, and that's the side like I really shine on, it's a little bit simple. Like, to be very, very quite transparent, if it makes money, it makes sense to them, most parts, right? You can have as low as a 500 credit score. Sometimes they don't even check your credit, like you mentioned. But if you're making, let's say, $8,000 or more a month, they'll be able to give you some type of approval or access to funding, right, when it comes down to it. So
yeah, I was talking to one of my mentors too, and he was saying that, like, if we were really gonna like get in the game, especially like real estate or whatever, you need a financial profile, meaning like your assets, liability, all that stuff in one profile. Because at his level, it's not even about a credit score. He's like, yo, there's no way I can have good credit. He said, I got $400 million in debt. Yeah. Because he does a lot of real estate stuff. He's like, there's no way. He said, but the bank wants to see if you, the person, is bankable. Yeah. And I said, oh, I understand it now. Because I got equity in this building. And I was thinking, oh, well, I just go to the bank, tell them it's worth X amount of dollars, give me this money. But it was like, yo, they want to see if you're bankable. It's not about credit score or revenue. Like, you got to have this complete picture. Are you getting into that level yet of like giving someone a whole financial statement around their business and life?
Not necessarily, not there yet. Like I said, more so my job as a business loan broker is to get people the money, right? More so what we focus on is credit-based and revenue-based, and sometimes it can be collateral-based, right? And that's kind of what banks lend off of. Having that full financial picture is not really where I'm at when it comes to my business. And that's one thing that, I really pride myself on, is staying focused on what's paying me. You know what I mean? It's so easy to have success in something and want to try something new. And we know anytime you try something new, you're always going to have 20% less productivity. You know what I'm saying? Sure. If you're good at podcasts and then you start switching up to no more podcasts, in-person events, it's not going to be as efficient as it is doing this. You know what I mean?
100%. All right. So you're 29.
Yeah.
Running $1 million business.
Yeah.
Well, when did you start this business?
So I started this business in 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Took about 4 years.
Yeah.
What were you doing in 2021?
I was an engineer.
Making good money?
Yeah, about 78 to 80,000, if I remember correctly.
Were you saving your money?
Yeah, I would say that I didn't live a crazy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends I'll be transparent. I had about 6,000, 7,000 to my name. Most Americans, average. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't horrible. Average. Yeah.
What made you want to get into entrepreneurship? Get into funding specifically.
So what made me want to get into entrepreneurship, like I mentioned, man, to me personally, corporate America sucked, bro. Really? It sucked to me. I guess
it seems so cool, bro. Not cool, but they give you 80 grand and they just give you the money. As an entrepreneur, y'all entrepreneurs? Yo, you make 80,000 as an entrepreneur, it ain't 80,000. It's like you gotta pay money to make the 80,000. Yeah. You know what I mean? But in corporate, it's a bunch of people that are real snobby. Maybe they're going to talk to you crazy. Maybe you're a black man and they think they talk to you wild. But they give you the 80,000. I'm trying to see what's so wrong with corporate, bro.
So it's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it didn't feed me. And I can give you a few examples. So me first being an athlete, it's a couple things. And I'll kind of go through it, right? I tell people this. First and foremost, if you want to see your future at a job, look at your supervisor, look at your superior, right? Because a lot of us, we feed ourselves on things will get better as we move up in the company, but we don't realize the positions and roles that we're going to. There, we can just look at who's already in that role. How's their work-life balance? Do they like their job, or are they happy? And we can see our future within ourselves. And that's one thing that kind of made me wanted to get out of at least working that job specifically, was like looking at my senior engineer. I'm like, yo, bro, I don't want to be like this. Growing up, I always said,
describe my man. What was yours?
So like, first and foremost, at least from my company, you get your ID when you first come into the company, right? Mm-hmm. So he was young, fit, smiling, and I'm looking at his damn ID from 15 years ago to now. He out of shape, stressed. He always at the office because he's a senior engineer, so they give him all the biggest projects in Atlanta. No work-life balance. He told me, bro, I'm making $150K and I feel broke. I said, wait, what? Because growing up, all I wanted was to make $100K, right? I was like, if I make $100K, I'm good. He's like, man, I got 2 kids, I got a wife, I'm doing this. And he told me he felt stuck. You know, he built his pension up, and he felt like if he was to move on and try to do something else, it would be starting over and ruining everything he established. Wow. So when I kind of saw this, I'm a big person in learning from other people's mistakes and not trying to make that mistake. That was one of the first things, because I saw my future within other people. I don't care who you are. It is what it is. The pay rate's going to be similar. Your task is going to be similar because it's a role. You as a person don't make that role that much difference. It's a company, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, it just didn't fuel me, you know what I mean? Just being overworked, underpaid, and really what kind of like got me to the next level is I got to try something new. Was when you're on salary, you don't really get time and a half, at least in my company, right? And working for a utility company, you know Georgia weather is crazy. So it's storming, light poles go down. It's 1 a.m. Who they calling?
Oh, wow.
Right? Me. I got to get up, go on my truck, ride the line, figure out where the pole's at, call the lineman, all this good stuff as well. And I'm not getting paid time and a half. So I'll work 10 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours of overtime for extra $200. And I'm like, this can't be what? Nah. So it just didn't fuel me, man. And I wanted to do something different, and came across some ads about entrepreneurship. Didn't know anything about it. Everybody was looking at as business as this cool thing. It's either you think it's cool or you think it's risky. And I was like, man, like the only thing I'm guaranteed is doing this. Let me try something new. And I took a chance, man. So
was the first business funding?
The first business was actually credit repair, ironically.
But this was your first business?
Correct.
You didn't do anything before this?
No.
Dang, so you got it right on the first try.
Credit repair, I had, well, I wouldn't say right. It wasn't just roses, right? You know what I'm saying?
Businesses I started before one worked.
Exactly.
Well, I'm talking about from from 1990 something.
Yeah.
To like 2010 until I found something that kind of worked.
Yeah.
2012. So credit repair. In Georgia, that was illegal though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So it was some compliance things, and that's why I got out of it. You're not supposed to do it in Georgia, and that's why I switched over to funding, because you just asked me how I got the funding. Started in credit repair, wasn't informed on how things were supposed to be here, and then, like I said, got into the funding space.
How long were you in Georgia doing credit repair?
Illegally. Probably like a year or so.
Year?
Just being honest.
Did you make good money?
Yeah, I was making probably like 10K on the side. Yeah.
10K a what? A lot.
10K a month.
Really?
Yeah. While working my job. Yeah. The reason how is this, and I know you asked, how are you able to start your first business and have success? And it goes back to my upbringing and my structure. I've been an athlete my whole life. Yeah. I've been an athlete. I've been facing adversity my whole life. I've been in situations my whole life where people have counted me out, and I've been able to overcome that. So I just took that discipline, that structure, that intensity, that effort, and really the drive of disliking my situation and put it into business. And that goes back to what we talked about before. It's like, there's no timeline to success. Like, I know generally speaking, most people in business don't see success to maybe a certain time, but then that goes back to your effort and your focus. And that's what stops most business owners from reaching success is they on their phone 24/7. Yeah. They worried about what everybody else doing. They don't have a schedule. They're scattered. It's like, what do I do today? How can I get better today? Me, it was straight line. Like, I need to figure this thing out. And one thing I also figured out too, which most entrepreneurs don't do, is I highly focused on marketing compared to looking the part. Yeah. Most people think they got to have the best website. They got to buy a bunch of different branding clothes and have a shop and make it look all cute. I'm like, freak that. I need to figure out how can I get leads, because if you don't understand how to market, you don't have a business. So me having my eye on the prize, having a goal, and being intensive, you know what I'm saying, what I want to do, I was able to blow past a lot of people just with that structure.
How did you learn how to market, though? Because you're an engineer at this time, electrical engineer, right?
Correct.
How'd you learn how to market?
Mentors and seeing what other people are doing. The good thing about marketing that people don't understand is that people can't hide marketing, because marketing is for the public. You can't hide what you're doing in marketing. So if you pay attention to what anybody's doing, you can see, okay, they're doing this. And then with credit repair, you can throw a rock and more than likely hit somebody with bad credit. Like we're not talking about a shoe or something that somebody doesn't need. Like it's almost a win-win. It's easy to find people that have bad credit. On top of that, like I mentioned, like it's a service that's needed. So if you understand, if we just reverse engineer it, if you have a service that's needed, who are the people that need this service? Who are the people that have intent, that have the money to pay you, whatever the case may be? It can be first-time home buyers. It can be people that want to get a vehicle. It can be people that want to change their lives. You know what I'm saying? So once you kind of create your ideal avatar and you focus on speaking to that person, aligning yourself with that person, going to places that don't connect with people that person connects with, right? You're able to focus on marketing and you know what I'm saying? Get what you want out of it.
Got it. And what did this marketing look like specifically? Because I'm trying to talk to entrepreneurs who are maybe they have a job and they got this business that they're working, and their excuse is, I don't got the time to do this, or I don't know what to do, or they think marketing is solely making posts on Instagram.
Correct.
So what exactly were you doing?
So before I explain that, I want to say this to all entrepreneurs watching, right? If time is your objection or your excuse, that just means that it's not a priority to you. Because if we told entrepreneurs, we in Georgia right now, if we told entrepreneurs there's $1 million under a rock in California, you just got to go drive there to get it, they will cancel everything on their schedule to get it done, right? They will drop everything. Even if they didn't have a car, they will figure out how to get a car to get to California to get that $1 million. Well, if you have that mindset to eventually you can build a business that can generate 7 figures. It may not be year 1, year 2, year 3, but year 5, year 7, year 8, it may happen, right? Yeah. So why are we not putting that same prioritization into ourselves, into our business? So it just goes back to priorities. That's an excuse. It's a limited belief. You make time for what you want in life. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. Then that's literally how I thought just being an engineer, because I learned it from football. There is no excuses, right? Yeah. So every day, me working in corporate America, I had a flexible job, just be honest. Being an engineer, I'm in and out the office. Is not one of those things where I'm just glued to somebody watching me 24/7, right? One thing that you can do first is just get active in your community. Join the Chamber of Commerce. I tell people all the time, the Chamber of Commerce has business owners there. They have people that want to do better. They have bankers. They have other people that you can collab there when it comes down to it. And then when we go back, one thing that I did a really, 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 really good job.
Hold on, bro. I'm just thinking about this because I've heard people tell me I should join the Chamber of Commerce, and I kind of just brush it off. But this is the first time something actually clicked. No, seriously. So I have a content creation studio, right? Yeah. And at the Chamber of Commerce has a group full of small business owners that all need to be able to create content. If I join the Chamber of Commerce, I'll meet all the people that need me.
Bingo.
Dang, bro.
And you see how I'm telling you stuff? Because I've done it. And that's what I'm saying. It makes sense. You want to align when it comes to marketing. We make marketing. We either want easy AI posting marketing, or we think marketing is difficult. When we really can break it down and say, okay, who are our ideal clients? Who is our ideal target audience? Who they hang around? Who they affiliate with? What's surrounding? What events do they go to? And we just put ourselves in that situation. Yeah. In that situation. That's all it is. That's like if you want to lose weight, where do you go?
Shoot, not to the buffet.
Exactly, but where do you go?
Or hang around your fat friend.
Exactly, but you go to the gym.
You go to the gym.
Meet other fit people there, right? Yeah. So we make marketing tougher than we really need to if we just understand that a lot of times we just got to put ourselves in the right position, in the right environment, so people that value our service or offer. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I did. So joining the Chamber of Commerce was a really, really big one. And I really, really build a big affiliate program around Atlanta with realtors. I understood realtors a lot of realtors don't make money, just being very transparent, most of them, right? So they're always trying to find ways to make additional money. And that's where credit repair comes in. You got people that can't qualify for a home, but they have intent. I could do credit repair. I could send them back to you. That may be a closing you're initially able to get in the 6 months down the road, whatever the case may be.
So you're giving them an opportunity to make money from their clients?
I'm giving them opportunity to refer clients to me for credit repair, and then we would give them a referral payout.
Gotcha. Okay. Correct. Yeah, I got you. Because that's probably their biggest pain point, right?
Correct.
Like the person just doesn't have the credit if you're trying to buy a home.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then,
that's smart, bro.
And then once they're done, send them right back to them. And all it takes is one, and they telling everybody in the office about you, and now you're getting leads.
That's good, bro. How long did it take you to finally leave your job?
A year and a half, man. A year and a half.
Any anxiety?
Yes, that's why it took me a year and a half. I was already making money, but I listened to people that were never entrepreneurs, people that I wouldn't trade bank accounts with. That's what I like to say, right? People that wanted good for me, but just didn't understand the dream. Yeah. So people telling me, man, you meant to be an engineer. You went to college for 5 years for this. Starting the business is risky. Yeah, you making this money.
Someone tell you were meant to be an engineer?
Like basically. It maybe not that exact phrase, right? But like you're supposed to be an engineer. You went to college for this. Why would you throw away your degree? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Dang, I'm trying to think of how I feel. Somebody's like, Dave, you're a great server, bro. Just what do you mean?
But
I'm not staying at the Cheesecake Factory forever.
But it's different when you can't compare a server to an engineer.
Well, someone told me, yo, you are in the perfect career for you because you have a great personality. It pissed me off, bro. On one hand, I'm like, oh, well, I did something right. I'm fit for this particular role.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, yo, am I only fit for this? Or because I've been doing it for a long time, I got to stay here? So I kind of... It's the same for me, right? There's somebody that's a teacher right now. Their mom was a teacher. Their mom's mom is a teacher. They're great with kids. And they're like, yo, you picked the perfect thing. So that means if I'm in the perfect role, anything outside of that will not serve me well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like trying to box you in on that one thing.
100%, bro. Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was for me. But I realized that most people, they live off of risk. Like their fear and risk. But what people don't realize or what they don't look at is regret. Everybody's trying to limit risk or they're scared to take a risk, but they never ever understand or think about regret. What happens if you don't take that risk? You stay in the same spot forever, and you watch people that take an opportunity and level up. And we all know that one person that knows somebody that did something great and say, yeah, I used to know that person. Yeah, we went to the same school. Yeah, I was on the same team. I was better than him, but I broke my leg and he all of a sudden became this person. So that's one thing I always tell people, like, yeah, risk is something, right? But wait until you get a hold of regret. That shit don't leave you. And you can't get it back. When you looking back and you 60 years old, what you could have done. And it was right in front of your face, but you was too scared to take a risk. Not knowing that even if you failed, you wasn't going to fall as hard as you think you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow, bruh.
Yeah.
Insane. I met this, I just bought this building, and the guy that's selling to me, 80 years old, and he starts telling me all the, he's selling me this building. He was like, yeah, last year I sold this other building. And he said, I got a bunch of other stuff. I just can't sell it right now. And I'm like, why can't you sell it right now? He said, well, because I don't want to get hit with these capital gains taxes, but I'm liquidating this stuff. He said, I'm on the other side of life at this point. Or I'm on the other side, kind of like in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And he starts, talking about all the stuff that he's liquidating, all the assets. But he was telling me how much he bought it for. The building that I bought for $240,000, I think my man might have bought for like $40,000 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So while you're saying that, I'm thinking, man, there's another friend at the same time that could have been buying this stuff, right? And they may be the same age, and this other person doesn't have anything to sell because, like you said, regret, there's nothing you could do about it.
Exactly.
Dang.
There's nothing you can do about it. Let me ask you, what do you think separates a winner and a loser?
What separates a winner and a loser? I think in terms of business, a loser accepted that they're a loser. They've accepted defeat.
They quit.
Yep, for sure.
They quit. Everybody's going to lose at some point in life. Everybody. But it's how you think about it. It's a learning lesson, right? You only lose when you quit. The only thing that guarantees that you fail in life is if you quit. That's the only thing. So why not
Man.
keep going?
This was years ago. I met this young lady who was doing like $25,000 a month in her business. She was selling, what's the thing you put it on your house and the sun feeds it? Solar, yeah. So it wasn't solar panels, but it was like she had these solar items, a bunch of just items that are solar, powered. And she was making $25,000 a month in this business. It's booming. She'd been doing it for months. But she couldn't let go of her job, which was paying her $40,000 a year. But she could not let go. And I don't know if in business, there are like waves. You can have like a really, really good run.
Yeah.
And she just kept in her brain thinking, well, this may not last forever. And then eventually the business declined. Not because the business declined, in my opinion. I think the business declined because as it was going up, she didn't take off the shackles. She didn't like spread her wings and say, let me focus on doubling down on this.
Right.
And now she's hit with regret because you get to a business of $25,000 a month and then you suddenly go down to $2,000 a month. It's not easy to build momentum again.
Yeah, it's not, especially
It's
if you spent that money. And that's kind of like what I teach and how I've been able to build my business, right? It's off of really 3 core metrics. Call it 3 M's. More, metrics, and manpower.
More metrics, manpower. Let's break that down.
Want to break it down? I
Yeah.
got you, right? So this is for 90% of entrepreneurs, right? You can make more money by just doing more of what's actually working in your business. 100%. If you run ads for marketing, let's say you spend $20,000 a month, right, in ads. If you want to make more money, just spend more money on ads. That's a proven concept that already works for you. If you're great at organic content, right, let's post more organic content. Let's get on more different platforms, right? If you're good at cold calling, let's say you're calling 300 people a day. Let's say you call 100 people a day and you get 3 deals funded. If you want to fund 6 people the next day, how many people do you have to call?
200.
So that's the easiest way to literally make more in your business. And that's actually the safest solution because it's a proven concept. You're just doing more of what's already working. But what happens is most entrepreneurs that see success, money comes, now I want to try this thing. I see this person online selling or talking about they making money doing this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. When in reality, if you just focus on the thing that got you to where you at and just double down on it, you will blow past everybody.
That's good.
And the strongest thing I was able to do, just like seeing success at an early age, and a lot of people struggle with, is telling people no. Telling people no. Telling family no when it comes to money. Telling opportunities that come about no, because I'm focused on what I'm doing. Yes, that sounds great. That sounds sexy. Yes, I can probably become a millionaire in that. But the time that I'm gonna have to split my focus on what I'm doing, it's just gonna screw me up. Because now I'm at level 8 and I gotta go back down to level 1 to figure out what we're doing here. So doing more is the safest and most beneficial thing that you can do in your business to make more. And a lot of times when you're dealing with entrepreneurs that have fluctuating revenue, one month they're making 5K, the next month they're making 20K, it's usually due to their output. They're not doing more of the thing that makes them money, right? So that's one thing I think that people can take and double down on, right? The second thing, when it comes to metrics, this is the biggest thing, and this takes a hustler to a CEO. A lot of people, especially during COVID, when they hustlers. Yeah. Money was easy to make during COVID. Ain't that easy to make right now? Why? Because it's easy to sell something, but it's hard to track how that actually came about, that client journey, and replicate the process. Mm-hmm. So if you don't track your numbers, if you don't track your data, it's going to be damn near impossible to grow a business. You're living off of hope. And in business, it's not an emotional thing. It's a data-driven decision. Yeah. People that are the most successful in business have data. Yeah. And they look at data, they look at trends to make decisions. So you should be tracking. Let's say you have a service-based business. You should be tracking revenue, sales, CAC, cost to acquire a client. Or you're spending on ads, how much do you have to spend before you get a qualified lead? You know what I'm saying? Your no-show rate. You know what I'm saying? Your close rate. Different things like that in your business so that you can look back at data and figure out when something's slow or something's wrong, what can I allocate resources to? And that's the job of a CEO that people don't talk about. Everybody talks about making money and beating their chest and being a hustler. I had $100,000 a day, $100,000 a month. But that shit can be here today, going tomorrow. Are you building something for the long term? Can you take yourself out of that business and still make that $100,000 a month? And that's what you know what I'm saying, you want to work towards, right? So good. Having that data allows you to allocate resources as a CEO to say, okay, If we look back, our no-show rate is through the roof. Okay, why are people not showing up to the call? Let's go back to our messaging and marketing. Are we marketing get rich quick and people that have no intent, and that's why they're not showing up? They're booking, but they're not showing up. Or let's look back at our systems. Are we confirming the call? Are we having a VA or a team member calling the day of the call? Are we sending appointment reminders? Are we sending them the Zoom link 30 minutes before the actual Zoom call? All of these things matter because consumers, especially depending on your offer, if you're selling to consumers, they get distracted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to constantly remind them to increase your show up rate. If people are showing up to calls, but they're not being closed, okay, you may have a sales issue. What is your sales rep saying on the call? How are they handling? Are they understanding how they overcome objections? These are things that are important when it comes to running an actual business, right? And sales is really big. And if you figure out that, hey, my sales rep sucks, may not fire them. You may need to do more training. You may need to do more framing, more, you know what I'm saying, Q&A, more role play. And if you struggle to just even get leads, that's easy. Then there's a marketing issue. Either your marketing sucks or you're not doing enough output to get the desired outcome that you're looking for. So when you have metrics, you're able to track and pinpoint, okay, this is why we had this month because this. Okay, let's allocate resources this month to this thing. And then the last thing, which is more so scaling, is manpower, right? You're only going to grow so far being a one-man army, right? We're only going to grow so far being a one-man army. If you want to really build a big business, you got to have the manpower behind you to fuel that business. And it's not just hiring the cheapest person, is hiring the most qualified, or A players, I like to call them. Because A players, I don't care if I got to pay an A player $100,000. If that person's going to bring me $500,000 to the business, it makes sense. And what happens is you create a culture, you create a team, you create a momentum, and you create a standard. And now everybody that comes to your business is held to a standard, and you won't let that standard fall.
Let me ask you one: how many people do you have on your team?
10.
10 people.
Yeah.
When it comes to an A player, it's hard to find an A player.
Yes.
Especially somebody that, okay, you put out this money and they're going to bring back this income. How do you find, like, what's your hiring process?
So right now I'm switching. One thing is this. When I started off in business, it was more so virtual assistants. I feel like that's where everybody starts. And virtual assistants can be good for certain tasks. And that's what I realized early on. Virtual assistants most of the time have no business talking directly to your leads in a sales aspect. You know what I mean? Sure. They're good for admin, data entry, back end type of stuff. That's where they come in. You can cut costs in the business there, but when it comes to, I would say, revenue driven roles like sales reps, fulfillment, you want to make sure you hire A players, right? So there's a couple things you can do. People don't know you actually can run ads for employees, like on Indeed and different things like that. You actually can run ads to get qualified leads. You can ask for referrals. You can put job posts out there, right? Another thing that we've done here, and this is actually a play, right? I'm gonna go ahead and give you some gems. Your local college probably has job, what do you call it? Damn, what's the word I'm looking for?
Career fairs?
Career fairs, right? Yep. They usually have career fairs. And there's a lot of people, and I would use this more so for marketing if you need a videographer or something like that. There's a lot of students that want experience, that are literally willing to work for little to nothing, that may have the talent, but they just don't have the credentials and they need to work anyway to get, you know what I'm saying, experience. That's a great way to get an on-the-go videographer if you're in marketing, you know what I'm saying? So those are different things that we use, like I said, to be able to attract. And then when we interview, it's usually a two-step interview. So usually I'll have somebody on my team interview them, and then I'll interview them myself. What we're looking for and how you know you're finding somebody good, they should be able to tell you something you didn't know about their role. And that's why it's important for the entrepreneur when you first start a business to do everything in your business so you understand, you have a concept of it. So when you interview people, if they're just telling you a bunch of stuff you already know about the role or know about that task, they're probably not the right one for you. But if you bring somebody in and they're telling you things, you're like, damn, I've been working Go High Level my whole life. I didn't know you can do that. I've been shooting my own content my whole life. I didn't know that was a thing. Wait, what's the name of that software? That's probably that A player that's going to take you to the next level. Does that make sense? Your A players, you really want them to be better than you at that specific role than you are. Does that make sense? And that's kind of what we do. And then last thing I'll do, to find the most qualified people, hire two and let them know, hey, both of you on basically a probation or temporary, whatever, and let them duke it out. Best man wins. And seriously, but that's how you get dogs. That's how you get the best of the best, right? Have
you done that?
Yeah.
What role was it?
So it's for VAs. I haven't done it with Americans, but it's for VAs because it's hard to do it with sales reps and stuff.
Give me an example. Like, what was the role, and would you hire them both for, and how did you operate that?
So when it comes to VAs, we did it for admin and onboarding for our coaching program, right? So for the funding side, it's okay, but for the coaching program, we did it for that. The reason why we did that is because VAs sometimes have a hard time connecting with interaction with humans. And basically how we were able to track who was the better person was simply effort. You know what I'm saying? And being able to correct. At the end of the day, you can be good at a job if you just put effort in. So showing up on time, being organized. Another thing is being detailed. That's the biggest thing, especially with virtual assistants. Detail is everything, and a lot of them lack that, right? So being very, very detailed. If I tell you to do something, make sure it's done the correct way. If you don't know how to do it, ask for clarification. You know what I mean? Let me not have to tell you 2-3 times. And then the last thing is being proactive. That's the biggest thing, because especially with VAs, a lot of them will just sit until you respond back to them. If they don't know what to do, they're not going to go the extra mile to figure that thing out. The VA that we hired, we literally did not respond to see what this person would do. They checked ChatGPT, Google, and said, hey, boss, you know how they talk. Hey, boss, this is what I got so far. And we knew that was an A player. Does that make sense?
Nah,
because now they're proactive and actually thinking, and they're not just waiting for you to think for them.
Yeah.
Because what happens if we're all in a meeting, we're doing a podcast, the business still got to run. If you can't get in contact with somebody, well, that doesn't mean anything because the customer doesn't care.
Yeah.
The customer don't care if you got a team of 20 or a team of 2. They want what they want. So you need A players, proactive people on your team to be able to, you know what I'm saying, build your company.
100%. As you get funding, let's just say, because building out this team, I think a portion of it probably should go to somebody who can help you.
Yeah.
Right? When you get your clients funding, what's the advice that you're giving them? Because, I mean, some people that just get funding, they're going to blow it, bro.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, we try not even take people that really don't have real intent of running the business or having a business or any type of business plan.
Yeah, but I'm sure the intent is there, but I mean,
is it? If you come to me and you want money, but you know you want to do with it, do you have intent?
Yes.
Kinda?
Okay. So you're okay. So you're saying you don't really work with people that are saying, I need funding to start a business, but I'm not 100% sure what the business is going to be.
Yeah. One, they're high risk. This is 2 reasons why. And I'm going to give you real experience.
Yeah.
They're high risk. If a person doesn't know what they're going to do with the money and you get the money and they have to pay you 10%, they're more than likely not going to pay you because the next thing that's going to come into their head is, how the hell am I going to pay this back?
Yeah.
You should only be getting money for people that have a business or a business plan and understand, okay, this 10% that I'm paying is a cost of doing business. I'm going to pay this back with the revenue I generate from my business.
Side note, and this is something I always wanted to know. Okay, let's say I get into the funding.
Okay.
Do you teach people how to do what you're doing in the funding space?
Correct.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
I get Jay some money.
Okay.
And we have this agreement where if I get you 50,000, you give me 10%, you got to give me my 5,000.
Yep.
Jay gets the 50,000.
Yep.
What's stopping him from not giving me my $5,000?
Great job. And I'm glad you brought this up because this is a frequently asked question for people that want to get into the funding space. How can I make sure I get my money? Right? So we have to understand we're operating a business. We're not here for charity, right? So when you onboard a client, let's say you get a funding client, this is how you make sure you get paid from that client. One, you got to have all their personal documentation, license, social security. You need to know where they live at, where they sleep at, all that information.
Dang, bro.
One, I'm just saying.
That's where we go.
Yeah, we got to. We got to. It's a financial service. One, we need that information anyway, right? To build their funding sequence and different things like that. Number 2, people that have the intent of trying to run off on you are not going to give you that information, right? So that's the first thing, right? Obviously, you want to have a real contract in play, a contract that's drafted by an attorney, not something you just scribbled up. Right? Does that make sense? Another thing, if you want to be even more precautious, get a card on file, get a bank round number on file, get something on file that says, hey, if this is not paid within X amount, we auto withdraw, auto draft, whatever the case may be. right? So it's so many different things you can do to make sure that you're not, you know what I'm saying, getting BS. And inside of my coaching program, we have a debt collection company that we partner with as well that can help recoup if you need it. But honestly, nobody's really been ran off on, so haven't had to
Really?
use
Nobody?
it. Yeah. Just because, like,
I feel like the old
it's
me
pretty,
would've ran off. I ain't gonna lie.
it's pretty easy to filter
The
out.
old me though. Not me now. I've got integrity.
It's pretty easy to filter out who has intent, who doesn't. Like I said, and that's why I said, like, I don't really mess with people that think they want to start a business, because it's like, okay, my team's gonna do all this work, and then we're gonna have to chase you down for the money, and it's not gonna make sense. So I'd rather not even think about the money, and we just won't help you.
It's gotta be a good business too.
Yeah,
Now go ahead, keep going.
Or my space, and this is where 60% of our clientele comes from. With revenue-based lending, we don't charge the client. We actually get paid from the lender directly, up to 15%. So with revenue-based lending, it's a one-page application, right? You get 4 months of business bank statements. You submit it to your lender marketplace, right? You have to have relationships. It's not something you just send to people, right? And they send you back offers. Your sales rep can close that offer, right? They set up a funding call with the lender. The lender just verifying they understand the terms, all the disclosures, depending on what state they're in, and they send them the money, and they send you your commission via wire 5 business days later.
What?
So that's a game changer. That's literally what most of my business comes from. And that's why I said we work with a little bit more established business owners. And that's what I teach in my program as well, to where you not only can help people get access to funding through credit card stack and 0%, but you also can offer alternative lending, where now you can service and help people to have bad credit, but a cash flowing business. And you don't have to worry about chasing them down for money, because you're getting paid directly from the lender.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Jay needs some money. I connect him with the lending institution. The lending institution gives me a percentage of what they... Is it a flat referral or a percentage of what they give him?
So it's a sales aspect, and that's where sales reps come in. They give you the beauty to sell the product at whatever rate you want to, and that's how much money you make.
Oh.
So does that make sense?
So you got to put a little something on top.
Yeah, if you want to.
Whatever their rate is.
Yeah. Not like interest rate, but like, yeah, they'll tell you, hey, this is the repay at if you want to earn 12% commission. If you want to earn 5% commission on this deal, this will be the repay. So you can decide where you want to pitch the deal at to get the deal closed.
Okay, I never even heard that part of it.
People don't.
I thought it was just, I get you funding. When you get that money, run me my bread.
I'm telling you, you only know what you know.
And you make good money from that, huh?
But 7-figure business. You only know what you know.
Give me an example of somebody you got funded.
Okay.
And the institution gave you the money, and what did you charge them in terms of interest? Like, just give me the play.
Got you. So it was a restaurant out of Texas. Not going to say their name. Pretty big restaurant, had 3 locations. Kind of was a mess. It took us about...
It wasn't turkey leg, huh, was it?
Nah.
They've been through it. But they've been up and through there.
Nah. So with this business, they had multiple different partners on the business, which made it a headache. One of the owners filed bankruptcy personally, and they went through like a separation. So it's a bunch of different things on the tax returns and stuff that they had to restructure and amend to separate itself from that person. The main business owner, he had like a 530 credit score, who was going through credit repair. And that's why I said, like, people that, have bad credit still have a demand for money. Yeah. The business was making, don't quote me, I think about $180,000 to $200,000 a month, somewhere around there, maybe a little less, around there though. I don't remember exactly. We were able to get them $273,000 through biz to credit. So a lot of people don't know, when you're, like I said, a broker, not just like getting people credit cards, you have like actual relationships with lenders, and you literally can close a deal. And we got paid out, I think on that deal, I think 8%. We didn't get 10 or 14. We got like 8. That's what we closed it at. And yeah.
One moment, please.
Yeah.
One moment.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you got them $273,000.
Yeah.
8%. You made 21 bands off that?
Yeah.
By helping someone get funding.
Yeah, and not charging them anything.
Well, you gotta charge a little something.
Nah.
Right?
With alternative lending, we don't charge them anything. We get paid by the bank. Our fee is basically built into the interest, or I guess the factor rate they're paying the lender back with. Does that make sense?
No, but don't you say, I'm thinking what I heard was the bank charges, let's say 12%, and you get to tell them, all right, you're getting it from me. I'm white labeling this, and I charge 12.3%.
No.
No?
So how it works with alternative lending, your commission a lot of times is built into their payback. Does that make
Commission's
sense?
built into their payback.
Not fully. So like if they're paying us $21,000, they're not charging them $21,000 to pay us, but some of the commission is built into their payback. Does that make sense? So what happens is the higher you sell the deal at, the more the business owner pays. The lower you sell the deal at, the less the business owner pays. And like, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah.
So it's not they're adding another 21,000, but at the end of the day, they're kind of adding another 21,000.
Probably with origination fees and like all of that stuff that happens, it's just putting money back into the bank, and they probably use some of that to pay us. So yeah,
but if you have that money, then obviously, it is the payback a percentage over time, or is the payback a flat number? So when I got the joint from my store, it was a flat number. I borrowed 30,000. You now owe me 40,000, and we're gonna take X amount of dollars off of every swipe until I get the 40,000 flat.
Yeah, depends on the deal.
Yeah.
Some are flat rates, some are based on just, I would say, your payback length. So it's just like any typical, I would say, financial APR, where if you pay back sooner, you avoid paying less interest. If you pay back later, or you extended the full amount of the term, you pay back more interest.
I think this is a dope business because every entrepreneur, business owner needs some money.
Literally, I tell people,
it's hard to find people.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, I get paid for selling money. I help my students sell money and get paid too. And the beauty about what I do, just being very transparent, why I love it, is it's a double-edged sword. So not only are you able to help people secure funding, but in that same skill set, you can secure funding for yourself.
Yeah, bro. And you don't got to do nothing for them. I mean, you have to do something in terms of like the connection, but the heavy work isn't, you know how many people I've connected with people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, so there's a client and I'm like, all right, Armani, here's a client. They need you. The people need you. They come together. And he makes his money, right?
Yeah.
But what if I got like I want my commission, bro. Give me my 10%.
Hey, now you hip. Now you hip. Now you know you got a skill. You got a skill now, man.
Nah, that's lit, bro.
Yeah.
So really, I was trying to understand why so many people are getting into funding. I know a lot of people in funding now, bro.
Honestly, bro, it's a trend. It's a trend. Because everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's going to just chase Wells Fargo. And it's cool. It makes money. It's life-changing money. But at the end of the day, it's not many people that are really in the finance space. A lot of stuff that I just told you probably never heard before. Yeah. And how many people you had on here for funding?
For sure. No, absolutely.
But
if it is a trend, I mean, where does that leave you as an entrepreneur? Long term.
Yeah. You want me to be honest with you?
Yeah.
Straight honest with you?
Please.
I don't give a fuck. I'm focused on what I'm doing. Why do I care about what the competition? The economy is ran off of small businesses. So in order for small businesses to help run the economy, they're going to need money. So it's always going to be around. I don't care what everybody else doing. I stay focused on what I'm doing. When I focus on other people, I'm now stopping myself from producing, from progressing. That's all it is. And excuse my language, but I just got a little passionate because people say all the time, oh, it's so many people getting into the industry. It's so saturated. It's excuses. It's a limited mindset. Most people are afraid to take accountability and put the power back into their hands. It does not matter how many people are in the industry. It does not matter what you went through. It all matters is your actions from now on. We can't control what happens to us. We can control how we react to it. So it can be 1 million people getting in the funding space tomorrow. I don't care. Why? Because I'm still going to operate my team. I'm still going to be at a high level. And all of those people that are now getting into this space are starting from ground one. And it's just going to make me look better. That's why when this interview comes out, they're going to be like, yo, you had 5 other people interview with funding, and he the only one that gave us all this information. Yeah, because there's levels to it. That's why I got the belt.
You seem very focused, bro.
That's all it is.
You seem really focused, real structured, real intentional.
That's why I moved from Atlanta to Vegas, man.
Yeah, oh, my gosh. That might be worse for my next question, though. In terms of, like, relationships.
Yeah.
How's that working? 29 years old, running a 7-figure company, really focused on the business.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Really good. Really good.
Say really good.
Yeah, and I'm going to just open it up.
Are you engaged?
Nah.
Committed relationship?
Yeah.
How long have you been committed?
Since college. That's why I say really good. We was just in Miami doing a podcast, and they was like, bro, you are lucky. the girl I've been with literally has seen me play football, has seen me get kicked out of football, not kicked out, but like not make it in football, see me be an engineer, see me getting the credit, see me obsessed, literally go from working in Atlanta, being in Atlanta traffic, to coming home, hugging her, going straight into my office and being there for 6 hours and months of that. The same girl has literally seen me grow into the person I am today, and now I employ her. She works for the company, W-2, insurance, everything. So,
y'all live together?
Yeah.
Kids?
Nah.
How long has it been?
7 years.
Since you met her?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
what's next?
What are we doing here? Like, I mean,
so you said it. My focus is a gift and a curse, and we can talk about that. Like I said, I'm cool with it. I be so locked in that this may sound crazy. I don't even think about that. Just being honest. That's
so
like
it's going great for you, but it's not going that great for her, I don't think.
I think it's going great for her. I think, to an extent. But I think we communicate and we understand that we're just in that. I'm in that mode. I'm going to say not we, right? I'm in that mode. And I feel like what I've been able to accomplish, what I've been able to do, and it's not like we don't spend time, we still have a great life, you know what I'm saying? I take care of everything. It's just one of those things that's not necessarily on my mind because of how focused, and that's the gift and a curse about being very driven and focused sometimes. It's like your eyes on the prize and you kind of don't really, I don't want to say focus, but a lot of things can slip through the cracks around you when you're so driven and focused on one thing. So it's a gift and a curse. I'm not going to lie. I'm very open about that.
When would you hope that stops?
Good question. And that's probably where you can give me some advice too. So just being honest is one of those things where it's like, I tell myself personally, like, once I reach this goal, then it's this. Once I reach this goal, then it's this. I've been able to make just this year alone almost $2 million. And it's like, I'm still like, well, I need to do this. Yeah. So let me ask you. This is where we bring in the social proof therapy session, man. So what do you think, looking back at you at 29 and where I'm at right now, what advice would you give me?
The advice that I give you, especially since I am a relationship guru, the advice that I would give you is to keep going down the path you're going down. And don't let any other person force you into doing something that you're not comfortable with. I don't care if you've been with that girl for 20 years. There's nothing that says you have to put a ring on her finger. And it may be uncomfortable, but she knows who you are. If she's known you that long, she knows exactly who you are. And the only thing that's going to change her perspective about what's happening is other people. Because when y'all together, y'all together. Yeah. It's not like the experience is less because y'all don't have a piece of paper that says you all are married. Now, on the other side, I would say that mentally locking in to have that ring, that paper, it gives her more security. Mm-hmm. And you may have some fear of commitment or something like that when it comes to relationships, because you can commit to a business, but you may have fear of commitment. But when you lock in, something happens. Something happens to you where it's like, yo, I am looked at differently. This ring, and Wallow told me this, and I never forgot it. He said, this ring represents something, and people see it, and they respect you on a different level because it shows that you're committed in other areas of your life as well. That's one. But two, mentally, just something happens when you're like building a family, and something happens with her too sometimes, where she goes even harder to make sure that you are the best man that you can be every single day, going out and conquering the world. But on the other side,
there's always a but.
Y'all married?
Nah.
Oh, it's almost like sometimes, and I've seen it, as soon as you say I do, they're a whole nother human being. And you're like, yo, who's this that I'm living with? Because there's a certain entitlement. And now you owe a certain amount of time or I'm expecting responsibility, a certain level of responsibility from you. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know.
It's tough, right?
It's tough.
Yeah.
I got married in 6 months after being on an app, so I don't recommend that to nobody. I've been blessed. I am one of God's favorites, I believe, so I've been covered in that way. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. This is the other side of your life, though. But you're only 29.
Yeah.
You might find somebody else in your 30s.
I ain't even worried about that. You try to get me set up, man.
Yes,
I ain't even worried about that.
You're supposed to say, no, I'm not. I'm doing whatever. At least that.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm not. I guess. Cut that out. I'm not. You know what I meant. Trying to get me caught up on the Social Proof podcast, man.
I've got to add entertainment in the information, unfortunately. Oh, man, this is going to be a long conversation when we get home. Here's another conversation. As you're getting older.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your money now, actually?
So right now, just being quite honest, literally just stacking it. And this is going to be the second year or third year where I had to pay a lot of money to Uncle Sam because I failed to actually invest into assets early on. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's nobody's fault but mine's. Yeah. When you don't come from money, just seeing that money there just gives you that calm feeling when, I know like it's not going to be likely that I'm going to just fall directly on my head and lose everything I have all at once. You know what I mean? But it's just something where it's just, when you never had it, you just hold on to it tight. And that's usually not the best thing to do because it's a limited belief. So just even this year, I almost had to pay $200,000 in taxes, been able to kind of alleviate that a little bit. But this could have been easily alleviated if I started investing into assets early on, like commercial real estate or just regular real estate to depreciate some of the, liability that I have on the tax side. So personally, just being quite honest, not much of anything. Maybe buying cars, but that's not really as beneficial. It looks cool, it helps with marketing, makes you feel good, stuff I never had before. But I haven't actually done truly anything to start building my legacy, being very transparent with you.
We got to start. We got to start, bro.
Yeah.
Especially like I always talk about the seasons of business, and some are up and down, and laws change and rules change, and just things just start happening.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend. One, I recommend starting a podcast. It's end of the year. Start a podcast. Buy some equipment. Let's set up your podcast at the studio, something like that. Because you got to start putting some money into things that's going to make you money next year.
Yeah.
But also, I would for sure recommend some real estate, something that can, because you got cash, bro.
Yeah, literally.
So I just got this building. It was $229,000, and the smart thing to do is to take some of the cash, put it in, and then buy it and not buy it outright. Mm-hmm. I'd be doing that kind of stuff sometimes. But I know that I have a certain amount of income that takes care of my lifestyle through real estate. Period. I don't care if I have a good year, bad year, I get depressed and want to go to Ghana for a little bit. Like I got something that comes in that will take care of my lifestyle forever. But right now with the cash, we just buy watches and stuff. And I did that too.
And then it's a double-edged sword.
New money. We're both new money, essentially.
Yeah.
I ain't had money for 20 years yet, so.
Yeah.
It's like, how many watches do you need, bro?
Exactly. Or like even one thing I was doing, and it just became a double-edged sword. I'm like, damn, we got to pay this back. Screw it. Put in the ads. Then we just make more money with ads, and it's the same problem. Yeah, 100%. Like, you like, okay, marketing, 100%, tax deductible. Okay, cool. Put a bunch of money in ads. Yeah. And then you make more, and it's like, bro, we literally had the same predicament over and over. So that's one thing in 2026 that I told myself that I wanted to get into is like really just start building outside of the business. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to focus to actually build a business and help other people become successful in the funding space. But I want to take it onto myself to start investing and not becoming the craziest real estate investor, but just start building assets, you know what I'm saying, that pay me, like you said, where you can go travel and not have to worry about, do I have a good month, a bad month, or anything like that.
I got you, bro. I'm going to help you.
Yeah, man.
The first thing I want you to do, take some of the money, go buy a diamond ring. Find out her ring size, okay? And just let's put that as marketing, okay?
All right. That's marketing. Let's get
It's
it.
not marketing, actually. It'd be cool.
If we film it, if we film
Hold
it,
it down.
if we
Yeah, we'll
record
film
it and post it,
Yes.
that's
it'd be-
marketing.
It'll be marketing.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if she wants to be I don't know if she wants to be a part of your marketing career. Nah, I got you though, bro. Like I got you because you being 29, bro. I just turned 41. I wish I had half the sense that you have right now.
Yeah.
I was an idiot. 29. Oh gosh, and I wasn't really making no money like that. Yeah, so I was making a lot of mistakes. But now is the time you walking into them 30s. The 30s are building your 50s. And then the 40s are going to be building your 60s. And then after that, it's like for your kids. You want kids?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. She want kids too?
Yeah.
First thing, I want you to go give her a baby, right? This is the second.
We gonna name it David.
Yeah, listen, I was trying to.
Yeah,
man,
we gonna name it
I'm trying
David.
to coach my boy. Hey, this is how mentorship works, man. Go give her a baby. Go give her a ring. I know you're not feeling it right now, but just force yourself. Go get.
What they say? They said when you had a baby, it make you go harder.
It don't. It don't, bro. I'm telling you, my kids took a lot of my hustle because I want to be home all the time.
Wow.
And then I deal with dad guilt. I'm dealing with it right now. Like I want to be home with my kids. I think Sarai on Mondays, she has cheer. They got a bunch of stuff, and I don't even know their schedule, and I feel bad about that. But I'm working. So I'm actually going next week to take a think trip. I'm about to restructure my entire life to make sure I can, not make sure, but I can give time to my kids, time to my wife, time to my business, dedicated time, dedicated hours with specific outcomes for each because I haven't sat down and figured that out yet.
So that's the other phase of business that people don't talk about because just being transparent, me being young and just being a headhunter and like just getting to it, I kind of just be like, screw work-life balance. Yeah. Like, just be honest. Like, I make money, but I would still crank a 12-hour day. I mean, just look at what I've done in the past week. I literally came from Vegas to New York, from New York to Miami to here. Yeah. And I'm just like, we on the road. We waking up at 6 a.m., working out, coming here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, when do you prioritize or make that switch to where it's like, I do need that work-life balance now? Is it once you start a family or does it just happen? Do you even know when? You know what I mean? Because right now I'm just so on go. You know what I mean?
It's when you feel you want that. Right now, you don't want it.
Yeah.
There's no desire right now. When I met my wife, again, 6 months later, I asked her to marry me, not because it was the right time or because I was getting older. It was because I felt this is what I want. I want to start building a family. One of the reasons I proposed to my wife is because she's an amazing woman. And I have a habit of messing stuff up. I got a habit of,
don't we all?
In my mind, I'm going to make sure it's something about her that really makes her not the one. So in my, I don't know if I ever told anybody this, but and maybe it's a bad time. No, honey, I love you. I like everything about you. But I was like, bro, I don't want to lose. I don't want to be in my head losing a good thing because I'm at a point in my life, I'm ready. Nobody said, yo, Dave, you're getting up there in age. Nobody said, yo, you need to get work-life balance. I felt this is one thing in my life that's missing. I want that. So I went to go get it. So once you feel like, bro, I'm burnt out and I need something solid at home and I really want to start building a family and I care enough about her feelings to see that, like, can I satisfy whatever desire she wants? Mm-hmm. Then you'll start feeling yourself being a little bit selfless, but don't let anybody talk you into that. When you start feeling it, make those decisions.
That's what I need. Yeah.
I'm about to start a relationship podcast, bro.
Go ahead. Social proof relationship edition.
Yeah, man. Give your girl a baby and a ring, and then.
What you gonna bring to the baby shower?
Oh, bro, advice. I bring all gems.
Advice,
bro. Man, this is lit, bro. Is your parents still around?
Yeah. So to talk about that, I basically grew up with just my mother. She actually lives in Atlanta. My father.
She's here. She's here.
Yeah, she lives in Gwinnett. But Yeah, my father was never in my life, and crazy enough, I think it's the first time I said this on a podcast. My father actually played in the NFL.
Really?
My father, I'll just say it, his name is Van Waiters. He played in the NFL, but never was in my life. Never. I'm 29, I've probably seen him 3 times out of my life.
Really?
Yeah. 3 times out of my life. Played in the NFL, is in the Hall of Fame for University of Indiana for football. People say I look like him. Seen him maybe 3 times.
Okay, 'cause I want to see. Why?
Yeah.
Why haven't you seen him?
So I know it's 2 sides to every story.
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest. So I don't know his side of the story, but I feel like as a man, if you have a child, there should be nothing really stopping you
that's your
seeing your
daddy.
child. Oh, you see him?
Yeah, that's your daddy, bro. Yo, that is your daddy.
Like, for
they got
real?
the same hairline, eyebrows. Yeah, that's your daddy, bro. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But you see him maybe 3 times.
Seen him 3 times. The last memory I can remember of actually seeing him was when the PSP came out. So he was supposed to pick me up one day from my mom's house. It's when we lived in Miami. He did not pick me up.
How old were you?
Maybe like 7, 8, around there.
You remember
there.
this?
Yeah, I literally remember like 7, 8, 9, 10, around
It is
there.
the first, second, or third time.
Probably the second time. No, it's the third time.
This is the last time you seen him.
Yeah, in person. Yeah. So he didn't pick me up that day, and I was waiting around all day waiting for him to come, and he picked me up the next day, and I guess what was like a guilty gift, he got me a PSP. That's when it first came out. If you remember the PSP, the handheld game, it was like $250, and that was like my last real memory. The last time I communicated with him was when I injured myself in, was it high school, or it was either middle school or my 9th grade year, because I played varsity 9th grade. I was pretty good at football. I injured my shoulder, and my mom, I guess, I don't know why she called him, but she was like, yo, like, she basically made it seem like it was an emergency, to where like he either thought that something traumatic had happened or I died. So he called and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna come up there. Never came. So that's literally the last memory I have of him. And I say that to really inspire other people, because like, it's so many opportunities I had to use that or other things, because I didn't come from a great background. My mom don't have money. Like, I don't come from a family that's just like successful, so to say. A lot of them, right? I could have used all that as an excuse, but yet I used that to drive me to get to where I am today.
How does it make you feel, though?
A couple different emotions. I feel like I grew up with a lot of hate towards him. I feel like I value football because of him, because he was good at football, and that's one thing I analyze myself with. But now I feel like I'm hiding it to not get emotional, but I feel like I don't care. But I do feel like I do care, because I feel like, why? Does that make sense? Yeah. And I would never know the why.
Is he still around?
Yeah.
So you can find out why. But you don't care. You've convinced yourself that you don't care the reason, but you do want to know the reason.
True. Crazy, right?
So why don't you make the call?
If a person ain't been in your life your whole life and you're 29 years old, what is there to talk about?
Remember we talked about regret? Do you remember?
Yeah, we did.
Right now, you have an opportunity to find out what happened or why he wasn't in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the reason was good or bad or satisfies you or not, but you just don't know. You have an opportunity to find out. It could be a call. Hey, real quick, why wasn't you in my life?
Where would I get his number from?
Your mom has his number.
If it's the same number, yeah, probably so. I could
He's
find a
still
way
alive,
if I put in effort. You're right. Yeah.
Bro, I'm about to use all
everything.
This episode to inspire yourself. But if something happens to him,
yeah,
and you never know why, that's something you got to live with. That's the regret you got to live with.
Yeah, true.
You don't know what bro. He's, I think, 60 years old. I saw.
Yeah.
He's 60 years old, and you got one side of the story, and your mom's saying what?
I would even say just saying like anything just basically saying like he's not there or whatever the case may be. I never got any real. Does that make sense? Let's be honest. I never really got any real explanation of what happened or what led to him not being there. It's just like your dad's not here. He, basically I'm the one taking care of you. Does that make sense? So maybe even digging into that, but just being honest, and maybe that's like a limited, like, it's something I always just put in the back of my head. I just always stay focused on what I did and never really played into it because I was like, I can't control that.
Does he know that you're a son?
Yes.
100%?
100. Well, I assume. I went to my grandmother's house, which is his mother's house. I went to his sister's house before when I've been to Miami, and they know. They called him. They let him know that I was over there, and he never came. Never said, "Oh, let me talk to him." None of that. So they have reached out and tried to build a relationship with me, but it just hasn't been him. Like even my aunt, which is his sister's husband, whatever that is to me, right? He was like, yo, if Van see how great of a damn son that he has, like it's just he a fool. Like he literally told me that. Cause like this is after I'm more established in business, play football. And he was like, yo, you're doing everything that a father would want in their son. And he doesn't even know how great of a person you are.
He may not know that you're a son. So
think
about this. Because
if you just say I just look like him.
You do. However, so think about this real quick. Let's say, for instance, you're dating someone, long-term commitment. Let's just say y'all been together 7 years, okay? And that you find out this woman has been talking to 2 other people. Let's just say there's a hypothetical situation.
Gotcha.
And she ends up pregnant, and she says it's yours. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I'll be like, hold on. I want to know.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You'll probably leave. She has the baby. You don't agree. You don't even know whether this baby is yours or not. And you're so upset, you don't care to get a test. So
if that happened, maybe it was a test, maybe there wasn't, but you're right.
If that happened.
Yeah.
But we don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
So you got one side of the story. His side might be, bro, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Your mom was dealing with all kind of stuff going on, and we never confirmed. I was just so hurt. I'm giving a hypothetical situation that could be really, really real, but you won't know. And at 29, you have no idea how you can like mend a relationship and start having a relationship with your dad, if that's your dad. You know what I mean? Like it's just, there's so many scenarios, and you're a grown man. You don't got to run from that.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to you from the perspective of somebody who doesn't have his mom or his dad. And there were a lot of questions that I got a chance to ask my mom and my dad before they passed. I don't know why my mom and dad are not together as a kid growing up. They just not together. And I asked my mom this question one time. I said, Mom, how long were y'all married? She said 16 years. I said, how many of those years were happy? She said like 1.
Jeez.
Dang. So maybe they married the wrong person. And then I said, well, why would y'all stay together so long? She was like, well, really for the kids. So when someone says that, I would say, yo, that's just dumb. Why would somebody stay together with somebody this long just for kids? Now I understand. My parents stayed together so that their kids can have a father and a mother growing up. And now I'm married. If me and my wife like had friction, and we did have friction, 7 years, so there are years where we had friction. But I'm not leaving you. My kids is going to grow up in a household with a mom and a dad. So it made sense. But for a very long time, my mom and my dad not being together made me start finding stuff wrong with people once I started having feelings for somebody. Because in my mind, marriages don't work. My mom and dad got divorced. My aunt and uncle got divorced. Everybody I knew got divorced. So this might be it makes sense. This is some of your reservation with the commitment with the woman that I would imagine you love.
You think it ties back that deep?
100%. 100%. She saw you from college to getting injured to a job that you hate to doing illegal credit repair to funding to where we are now, and who knows how many years after this is going to go on. But it has something to do with, like, you're unsure why 2 people don't stay together.
Could be.
Call your dad, bro. Is he on Instagram?
I don't know. You gonna DM him? We gonna send him a video?
Yeah, my boy. Like, yo, man, is this just what behind his
Lost
number?
and found son. Lost and
Behind
found
his
dad.
number.
We'll
Find his
see.
number.
We'll see, man. Like I said, it's been nothing. I've been just honest, and maybe it's just me. I don't have a desire to really open that up, probably because of what it would do to me, right? Be emotional. That's probably what it is, just being honest. But I just never really thought about it.
Yeah, either that you deal with it your whole life, because I could tell even in this conversation you're holding something back emotionally, like you're trying to suppress it.
Yeah, for sure.
But you won't have to do that once you know. Just face it.
You're right.
Yo, you know what? I hate facing like cold calls where I call people and they hang up on me, things of that nature, right? I don't like it. If I'm your mentee, what do you tell me?
Do more of it to get better at it.
You're afraid to make that cold call, bro. So listen to your own advice. Don't be a hypocrite. Okay?
I got you.
This conversation went left.
Nah, it's good though. I like stuff like this because it gives you the real. And like we talked about before, I like being authentic, organic, and letting people know that no matter how much money you make, no matter how successful, no matter how much somebody thinks your life is perfect, there's always things you deal with. 100%. And I didn't lie about my emotions. I kept it 100 with you. I said, yo, it's in the back of my head. Yes, I do feel some type of way about it. I didn't make it seem like, you know how people get on and act. So, yeah man.
I've learned about building a brand, man. There are people that connect with you.
Yeah.
And outside of funding, obviously you're knowledgeable about funding, business, and there's a lot I can learn from you. I can learn from you because even though you're younger than me, like I learned a lot today. But I think you continue to show up in your authentic self and you keep building what you're building, man, you're gonna do something special, bro. So y'all better hurry up and lock in with him right now because he's going to be hard to reach in a minute. So, man, thank you so much for coming by, bro. I appreciate this conversation. I don't know how people can connect with you if they're looking for funding or even looking for mentorship. How can they connect with you?
So I got a couple of things, man, that I want to give to people. First and foremost, if you want to connect with me, you can find me on LinkedIn at Stedman Waiters, YouTube at Stedman Waiters, Instagram at Sted.Waiters. Just for your podcast, man, just for the Social Proof podcast. I know we went over a lot of high level stuff, more different stuff than people come on here and talk about. So I want to give them 2 free gifts, man. If somebody's interested in, starting and getting into the funding space, becoming a business loan broker, starting their own funding company, I got a completely free course showing you how to start your business from A to Z and showing you how to market, going into more detail of the things we talked about today. And secondly, if you're somebody that's already in the space, but you just lack the manpower that we talked about, you don't have the team, the structure, I have a completely free step-by-step guide on how you can hire your first hires and what roles you should hire at to actually grow and scale your funding company. And with those 2 bonuses, last but not least, we have a free funding workshop that we do weekly that you guys can come to, engage with me. I do them live, where I give a lot of information on how to secure funding for yourself or, how to get into the space. So I'll give you a link for that. And last but not least, if you're somebody that wants to secure funding, waiterscapital.com is our company. We can help you. If you watch this podcast, you know the qualifications. We'll get you that funding and get you right.
I love it. Man, listen, please reach out to Sted and ask him if he can talk to his dad. Send him a DM.
Now we get a bunch of DMs.
Send him a DM right now. Like, bro, you talk to your dad? Just had that conversation. But if you are looking to expand your business and you need funding, man, reach out to my brother. Real quick, last question.
Yeah.
Leave us with a word of wisdom. We can kind of wrap up this conversation in a few sentences. You know what I'm saying? But just leave us with a word.
I would say do what you would do if fear wasn't involved. Right? A lot of us, we don't reach or accomplish the goals that we want to because of fear. And we don't understand fear is a mile wide but an inch deep. It's like an ocean, right? When we look at an ocean that's a mile wide, we're scared, we're terrified. But when we step in, it's short, it's only an inch. We see that it's not that bad, right? So the thing that you're scared to do is probably the thing that's going to help you level up and grow. And not only just in business, it can be spiritually or as just a person, right? So do what you would do if fear wasn't involved. And you remember, you only get one life. It doesn't matter what people say because they don't remember the L's. They only remember the wins. So, yeah.
There we go. Listen, man, we can't close it out no better than that. Man, make sure y'all reach out to my boy Sted for all your funding business needs. Reach out to him if you enjoyed this episode. Just send him a message. Say, yo, I really felt that, bro. I learned something. Thank you so much. But also go get you some social proof, meaning go build something, build it really, really big, but they can come back to your community and teach them how you did it. It's the only way our community grows. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Hold on one second. Yo, bro. Give me I literally just wrapped a session.